Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to It's Something to Do with Pete and Will. We promise it's something to do. Welcome back to It's Something to Do. We promise it's something to do. This is part 2 of a very wonderful conversation that I have with my friend Steve Ball, and we're going to discuss things that are all over the board.
Kind of like my life, huh?
Based on my notes, this is going to get jazzy, as they say.
Huh? Yeah,
but Steve, welcome back. Thank you so much for being back on.
Thanks, Peter. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, how's everything going? What's going on with you?
Not much. Just we're up at the mountain. I bought a bunch of snowmobiles the other day, so we're up playing around on the snowmobiles and just having fun. I overdid it a little bit yesterday, so I'm just kind of taking it easy today. You know, we're up here for a few days, so I just want to make sure that I'm in good shape for the rest of the trip.
Yeah. What kind of snowmobiles did you get?
I bought Yamaha various sizes. I bought 4 of them, and so
I can't imagine why not.
Well, I went with a two machine trailer, and ended up having 4
awesome.
delivered. I ended up having 4 of them delivered on a 4 machine trailer. So, you know, it's something to do.
It's something to do. Thanks for the plug.
Yeah, right. It's the least I could do.
But how fast do they go? Like, I don't know anything about it. I think I've been on one, maybe once.
I think the one that I got one that's a turbocharged 4-stroke, and it probably does. I don't know. I had it to about 70, 75 yesterday, and it still had throttle left. So
75 miles an hour?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was moving right along. And my thought was, hey, if I kill myself, then I didn't do it intentionally, so that's still life insurance is still good. And
75 miles an hour they go? I didn't know that.
They go faster than that. There was still throttle left.
Oh my gosh!
There's still quite a bit of throttle left, yeah.
And is it the hand throttle?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. Well, I don't have a fear. I don't have a whole lot of fear. So
I'm totally ignorant to that world. I said I've been on one once.
Yeah, they get up and go. I mean, they get up and go.
Even the smaller ones do. 75 miles an hour, yeah, for sure.
Yep.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, they get up and move.
So, Steve, if you haven't heard about Steve's background, he was a firefighter in 9/11, and I thank you again for your service before and after all of them.
Of course.
And I want to make sure that you're respected in that way.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And now let's talk about not trying to wreck your snowmobiles.
No, it was I hadn't done it in years, and so jumping onto one yesterday, it was a pretty quick transition. I guess that part of not having any fear helped. You know, I rode motorcycles and all that my whole life, so I'm not too afraid of motorized vehicles. I guess, lack of a better way to put it. But I jumped right on, and you know, they're so amazing these days. The new technology on them is just absolutely insane. They have a suspension like a motorcycle, basically, and you just kind of float along the snow now, just a lot faster. And so taking out that chatter factor of not having suspension and having suspension really brings a lot back into it. So
yeah, for sure. I mean, those sound like
they're fun.
You bought amazing ones.
Yeah, I spent a little bit of money. That's a little more than I thought I was going to do.
Yeah. What was it, like $300, $400 each?
But the one I got is about 22. Yeah. Yeah, it was quite a bit.
Yeah.
But like I said, yeah, I
You
took off
bought it.
one morning with intent and came back with a lot more than I intended.
Yeah. You
That's
bought a
okay.
lot of used Hyundais.
Uh, yeah,
I'm
a
just
whole lot of them. I bought a whole lot of them.
I actually opened up a car dealership in front of my house with 27 cars.
Are you serious?
No, I'm saying that's how much
Oh
money we
God, I
spent
thought
on
you
these
were
things.
serious. I was like, where do you live in California again?
No,
You must be way down south.
no.
No parked in your yard.
Yeah.
Maybe you should
Who
edit
wants
that
a
one.
car? You get a car. You get a car. You get a car.
Say habla español.
Yeah. That one has flat tires, though, so you might want to fill those up, but
Yeah,
it's
that
yours
one
if
might
you
not
want
have a
it.
motor, but we have the hood closed, so you won't be able to tell until you get ready to leave.
Oh, my God. We were talking this week, and one of the things that you had mentioned, which I thought was so worthy of discussion, was that you were an escort. And so you
Yeah,
would escort. And so you decide what you want to share with that, but I that wasn't something I thought was going to come out of your mouth.
yeah, it's one of those shocking things to hear sometimes. Uh, yeah, I did a little escorting. Jesus, how do I explain this? How do you explain yourself into something? All right, so let me get into. Once I get into it, I'm fine.
You made me snort.
Uh, so I was at a golf course, a country club, and in Las Vegas. So I had a friend who was that I went to school with that was actually I had a couple that are actually pretty well known porn stars, and one of them was playing golf with me one day, and she knew one of the gals that was playing golf also. Well, long story short, the gal she knew was a high end escort, and so knowing that, and she knew how to play golf pretty well, I decided to play golf with her one day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she said one of the things that she was talking about all the time was there was a lot of women that were members of this country club that were not married or not attached in any way, and mainly because they were busy and they just numerous reasons. A couple of them are a little intimidating because they're high end attorneys. One of them's in politics. Let's just say that it's easier than having to answer questions later.
Yeah, for sure.
And anyway, I did it for about 5 years. She talked me into it, and actually she told me the money, and the money compared to the wages I was making, I was like, I get to do what for what?
How many Hyundais did you get? How many?
Oh man, I'll tell you what. I could. I did a lot of weekends, and weekends were $5,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and so I don't even know. I don't even know. I wouldn't even venture to try to figure it out. But I made a lot of money. And doing something I love. I mean, come on now. But I got to go to a lot of cool events. I mean, I got to go. It wasn't that it was there. There was actually escorting involved. I mean, so I would go to events, and I'd be the boyfriend, and dates, actual real dates, and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. But over the 5 years, there was only 7 of them only. And I was able to pick and choose, which was really cool. I wasn't pimped out or anything. I was my own pimp, and so I was able to pick and choose who it was. And the 7 women, I'm actually still really good friends with all 7 of them. Mm. So it was a cool experience. I mean, it was an experience that I never figured I'd do. I really didn't. There's a lot of people that know about it. They were kind of like, "You did what?"
Yeah, including me.
It was yeah, but it was fun. I mean, of course it was fun. It was just I don't know how to explain it. I really don't. Kind of a man's dream. Like I said before, a lot of people say, tell me they're sorry for what's going on and everything, and I just tell them, don't be sorry. Don't feel sorry for me. I've lived a life. I've done just about everything I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And that is usually not even on people's bucket list because that is something that's usually not attainable. I just got lucky. For
Yeah.
real.
I mean, yeah. If you're watching and you,
yeah, there's a disclaimer here.
Yeah, if you need,
yeah,
oh
I enjoyed
God.
it. I enjoyed it a lot. I mean, and the people were really good. So, I never got beat up and left in a hotel room or anything like that. So,
Well, of course not. I wouldn't imagine you'd
yeah.
allow
So, I mean,
that to
that's
happen.
no, I never had to walk the street or anything like that. So,
Yeah.
it was like I said, and I still have all of them as friends. A couple of them have moved on to brighter things.
Yeah.
I guess one way to put it. But it was an experience. It was truly an experience. I mean, it was pretty cool. It was very cool.
Yeah, that's incredible. The just the
Yeah,
fact
nope.
that you told me that, and it came out of left field. We were talking about your service at 9/11, and then you're like, I was also an escort. And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, there was more service work done.
That is so different.
Yeah, and it was one of those things that if it would have been found out, I would have gotten in all kinds of trouble. I'm sure. I would venture to say I would have. Who knows? But I wasn't going to take the chance of putting it out there, especially when I was still working.
Oh, are you okay with it being out here now? Because it's
yeah. I don't. It doesn't matter. I mean, do you know? To be honest with you, I lived my life after 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I actually think that opened avenues in my mind that weren't open before.
Sure.
This can happen like right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think after that, I think I really started living a lot more than I was living before.
Yeah, and that's actually an interesting. Excuse me. That's an interesting thing. I think that, and this is obviously just my thought on it, and not based on your experience, but you go through something, and then you get a perspective, and that perspective gives you a logic that you may not have had before, and so you just
exactly. And it was terrifying. It was terrifying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So no matter what I do from here, well, no, that's a bad way to put it, but it opens a lot more doors to want to live your life.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the best way to put it.
Yeah.
And I did. I mean, I started getting bucket list things done after that. I started doing a lot of stuff after that, just because it was like, you know what, this can end like right now.
Mm-hmm.
You could walk out the door and get hit by something. I mean, it's just immediate. And I think that brought it on to such a grand scale and really made me realize that, this could end right now. So do what you want to do, man. Enjoy your life. Have a good time.
Mm-hmm. And that's hard.
I'm not justifying. I'm trying to justify it, but I can't really justify
it. But it's
not justifiable.
It's hard for a lot of people. A lot of people get stuck kind of in their formula, and in that formula, it's chaos or angst and all those kind of things. And it's not.
It probably and PTSD never set in for me, so that's. I don't know if I would have had it anyway. I mean, I was pretty good at disconnecting, which is good and bad. But yeah, I mean, it probably saved me from a lot of grief later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but you come in contact with a lot of people that they get really stuck in this angst, and a lot of times it's with strangers. And so
exactly,
you're like, why are you even entertaining this conversation? Like, just move on. Like, get out of this.
Exactly.
There's literally a button you can push, and then this isn't a thing anymore.
It's a do-over. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So,
And it's there. I mean, anybody that says it's not there is they're fooling themselves. It is there. You can do over. I mean, if it's just you and you're not involving children or you're not involving somebody else's way of life and stuff like that, you can hit the do over button. You
Yeah,
can.
for sure.
It's the fear of hitting it. It's the fear of hitting it. And I was never afraid of hitting it.
Well, yeah, and you and I have been through the same circumstances, and I was decades in entertainment, and you're decades in actually helping people. I don't know if I'm part of the problem or the solution, but well,
No, I mean, because
God will
if you
work
think
that
about it,
out.
entertainment, yeah, entertainment is such a big part of people's lives, though. So, I mean, yeah, I was entertaining.
Yeah. Well, so here during 9/11, because I mean, you were feet on the ground,
Yeah,
and I was shooting television, and a lot of people, our numbers spiked because people just didn't want to think about it anymore.
yeah,
And so the stuff that I was shooting got so much more views on television. This is the actual television,
right,
and
right, right.
it's I think that they were just exhausted by the turmoil,
Well, and
and
that's the disconnect. That was
they
the disconnect you were just talking about.
mm-hmm,
They were able to find a
yeah,
disconnect in television, and I mean, there were
yeah.
some of us that just weren't, just that wasn't part of it.
And there's a lot of shows
Kind of still isn't to this day.
go ahead.
It kind of still isn't to this day. I mean, I do a lot more. I do things other than watch, TV and stuff like that. I do very little social media, uh, probably more than I ever did now. But
Mm-hmm.
it's turned out to be a blessing. So, um, I'm using it for my use now, I guess.
Well, that was yeah, because I covered all these programs that all of the reality programs and things like that, and you'd walk away from it, and you're like, oh man, this is. But
Hmm.
people would watch it because they just needed a break
Oh yeah, for sure,
because they were
for
watching
sure.
everything that was happening,
Yeah,
and then
for the first few days,
mm,
and
yeah,
then
for sure,
they were getting more of an outside view because there were so many things that were going on that they were investigating. That the stuff that we actually saw and the stuff that was being uh, put through the media were two
mm-hmm,
totally different things. And
mm-hmm,
I wouldn't. I mean, I don't think I paid enough attention to have a different opinion on that because I was there to do one thing and one thing only, and that's what I was paying attention to.
yeah. But the one thing was so incredible, and the fact that you had the courage to go and do that is just incredible.
Uh, yeah, but you know what? You're not thinking about that. In fact, I really don't now. I mean, I got myself into a couple things. I was like, Jesus, what was running through my head when I thought that was okay?
Well, that's
Um,
everybody. I mean, we're, hmm
yeah, it is.
are you talking about on the scene?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's
I
not
mean,
me.
some of the stuff that we did,
That's
I mean, it
unique
was
to
just,
you. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And like I said, I saw stuff that I wouldn't even begin to talk to people about, unless they were
Mm-hmm.
there or unless they've been to something similar. I wouldn't even,
Yeah.
and the thing is, there was somebody I talked to yesterday that had put feet on the ground in Kentucky for that
Mm.
candle factory that collapsed.
Okay.
And I was asking her about it, and I said, what I mean, what happened? I mean, what do you see? And I mean, did it pancake flat? Did it? I mean, what happened? And he said that there was all these large HVAC systems on the roof, and when they came down, I mean, there was the size of normal sized rooms. He said when they came down, there was people underneath them.
Oh,
And at
geez.
that point last night, they still hadn't gotten those picked up to find out where all the people were that they were missing, but they're pretty sure that a
Mm-hmm.
lot of them are underneath these HVAC units, and that's a done deal. Man, you're underneath the 10-ton HVAC plus. I don't even know how heavy they are. If you're
Mm-hmm.
underneath one of those, you're done. So same type of thing. I mean, there's going to be things that people are going to see on that scene that they're not going to be able to talk about. There's going to be a lot of them that physically won't be able to talk about it. That's where PTSD comes in, and And you got to feel for them because some of them are never going to come away from that the same.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a trauma that goes along with that, especially in a smaller town, because a lot of those guys are volunteers, guys and women, sorry, are volunteers, and volunteers aren't trained to. They're just not ready for that, and so that's putting a lot on the plate of somebody that's doing it as a not a hobby, but as something kind of on the side. But I mean, God bless their hearts, man. I'm not sure I would have done it unless I was paid. I mean, I loved it. Don't get me wrong, but to do it for free, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and well, I don't want to bring up war, but
Same type of thing.
yeah, I have friends that are in the military and have been confronted by certain situations, and
I've had friends that were in the special forces, and the same thing. I mean, a lot of things they're not allowed to talk about, but there's a lot of things they wouldn't want to talk about anyway because whether it was something they did or something they saw, nobody else needs to know that.
Exactly
a lot of people
right.
want to know it. Those are the same rubberneckers that are going by car accidents at half a mile an hour getting everybody's way. But beyond them, nobody needs to know what other people's plight, other people's disaster. They don't need to know that.
Yeah, my mom was born in Germany, and my grandmother was wounded during the bombing of Berlin.
Wow.
And so the conversations with that were vetted.
I can only imagine.
So
I can only imagine.
And
and that was anything of her doing.
And and again,
that's where she lived.
I stopped myself because I can't tell all the things about it.
Absolutely, I understand completely. I mean, there's a lot of things I'm not allowed to talk about. Things that we saw too. So, it's where your morality comes in.
Well, yeah, exactly, and it's also respecting their lives
and their privacy and everything
whatever
else.
They gave in their privacy and things like that. So even the stuff like they talk about comedically on here, I don't tell anybody's names or anything. They know.
No, I try not to. They come out every once in a while, but he'll edit it out.
Yeah, Antoine.
Antoine, come on, bud.
You
missed your cue on the last one, Antoine. That was a big one. I'm still taking heat over that one. I take daily heat over that, believe it or not.
Are you serious?
Because everybody says, I've never heard you say that. And I'm like, I never do, but it was just one of those things. That morning, I had so many distractions going on that morning that there was probably a couple things came out of my mouth. I was like, oh, Lord. Oh, and that was one of them.
Sorry for that.
As soon as I said, I probably deserved it because I think it broke the monotony for some of what was going on during the rest of the conversation. And, man, I got this one friend of mine, and she's just constantly going, I can't believe you said that. But yet she'll finish a sentence every once in a while by saying it. I'm like, really?
Don't say it again. I have to pay for these.
Don't you dare say that. Oh, Lord. Politically correct, though, I was never. So,
yeah. Well,
I mean, I try to be, but
to take a left turn, just for some levity.
Yeah, let's veer. Swerve.
I was talking to a guy, and he's this is so ridiculous. He saw a penis pump somewhere, right?
Oh, God.
And so he went into the garage and took a tire pump and put it in his penis to blow it up. He said,
"Yeah, but I got on the end of that. He took the needle that you use to fill up basketballs and stuff.
Oh, were you in the room?
Up there. I came in late. Yeah, that's one of those moments where you go, do you know what? Do I need to be here? And then it was so intriguing. I was like, I got to hear the rest now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, now what are we gonna do? Oh,
I mean, I said, did that hurt? He goes, well, not until I pumped. I was like,
But it was like
It didn't
it was
hurt
like
till
one
you
of the,
popped.
it was like the foot one.
Yeah. So we're like you could fill up a car tire in like 20 pumps. I mean that
Oh,
he's lucky that didn't
blow it up.
something. I was speechless.
And again, we won't say who this person is or anything like that. But
No.
it is,
No.
it is.
And and for stupidity like that, we really should throw him under the bus, but we're not going to.
No, we will
Because
certainly not.
that was
Well, he was a kid.
but
He didn't think anything about it. He was, just being a kid.
but he the way he told it though, it was kind of like, it was kind of an experience that I might try it again. I just won't pump as hard. And I was like, are you I mean, I'm disturbed. I truly am, but not to that. I'm on other things, not sticking something in there and blowing. No.
Oh my gosh. And then
and I've never been catheterized either, and I think I'd just rather pee myself or just pee internally or something. Because I don't want that. I just don't. I mean,
we like to protect our parts, is what we're saying.
In a big way. In a big way. And then he was talking about the show Jackass, and I'm like, bro, you're thinking about doing more stupid stuff. That's not. You're an adult. Try to play an adult.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's why I mentioned the stuff that Steve-O does.
Exactly. Yeah, that's when I brought up Steve-O. I asked if Steve-O was still alive. Yeah.
He is still alive.
Like,
he has his own podcast.
That's a miracle in itself.
Yeah, he's done an amazing job. He's 10 years sober and killing it. He's doing great.
Praise God, man. Praise God, because he was on a personal mission for disaster.
Yeah, his trajectory wasn't positive.
No, he was aiming high. Almost got there too, a few times.
Brought to you by Liquid Death. The sponsors come at the end. It's water.
The Modelo? Oh.
No, it's literally Alpine Water, mountain water.
In a can?
In a can. Because
the can's not going to add any minerals or anything to it, I'm sure. 10.
What's in this?
You're in California, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay then. That's okay.
Yeah, they just recycle them.
Yeah.
Whereas
I mean, if you were Oregon or something like that.
In the ocean.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just talking about what you're drinking right there, Peter.
Yeah, this is
you're drinking fresh spring water out of a can.
That's exactly what it is. And it's expensive.
Is it? I'm sure it is. You got to pay for the can.
Yeah. It's like $19 for a case of this shit.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm. I'm an asshole. Huh.
No, I didn't say that.
Drinking water from the Alps.
You drink out of a can.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm working for everybody.
They must be a big sponsor. That's like, yeah, I'll eat the pate.
I want one.
Because you're...
I want one. You know how much this costs me? So nobody wants
Yeah. I can see, right. You wonder what I was talking about, the possum pate?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Somebody else that was in there yesterday brought that up this morning. I was like, how did you hear that?
Yeah.
He goes, all I heard was like part of the story. And he goes, what happened? And I'm looking around the room going, I don't know half these people, but I don't really care, because the half I don't know probably don't know the people that I fed the possum pate to. So it didn't matter.
Yeah, I guess everything's technically edible.
Until it's not. I mean, if it sits long enough, it's really not. And I had no idea it'd been laying there for 2 days. I had no idea. I thought it was reasonably fresh the reason I thought it was reasonably fresh is because I had gloves on and a mask as I was cutting it up and grinding it up.
We need to give context to the story. So, here. So tell the story right now. We're not on the app. we're doing a show. People
Antoine,
have no
get
idea
ready.
what you're talking about. Yeah.
Get ready, Antoine. We might need to do something here. So, so I was dating a woman that was very well off. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And so she lived in a real ritzy neighborhood with a lot of ritzy people, and we used to have dinner parties. And some of the dinner parties I didn't understand. It doesn't matter. But anyway, she had some people coming over one time, and I was the cook because I'm a great cook, you know. And so I was always the cook, and usually by the time the dinner party was over, I was smashed. You know, I didn't want anything to do with these people, you know. So I'd call a buddy or something. We'd just sit out in the garage and just get, you know, lit. So anyway, this group of people were coming over, and I knew a couple of them, but I didn't like them at all. So I was going to the store to get food for this dinner party, and there was a possum in somebody's yard, and you could tell that it had been hit. So somebody probably hit it and got out, threw it in these people's front yard, you know. So I thought, actually, I didn't think, I just did it. I grabbed this possum, I threw it in the back of the truck, and of course I didn't lay it, you know, just laid it in the back. I probably threw it in the back of the truck and went on my way. And of course, it sat in the back of the truck until I got the rest of the shopping done too.
Uh-huh.
And you know, just in case, you know, maybe somebody would take it out of the back of the truck and I wouldn't follow through with what I was going to do. That didn't happen. It was still there when I came out. So anyway, I got back to the house and started preparing everything. Now, I was trying to think what to do with it, and I thought it's got to be an appetizer because I don't want everybody eating this. And I'm trying to think what the girl I was with didn't like, and pate was one of them. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to make a pate out of this. Well, I wasn't sure what it was going to be like when I cut it open. So I went and got gloves, you know, like the nitrile gloves that go all the way up your elbows. And I got a mask on, you know, that where I couldn't smell anything in the whole 9 yards. And I grabbed the knife and started cutting this thing open.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's possum meat, so it never looks good, but it didn't look bad. And there was no maggots. So I figured we're okay. And when I stuck it with the knife, it did go. So I figured it, you know, I figured it was cool. So you know, I had all this logic running through my head. You hear this, right? Yeah. Anyway, so I got it all done and ground up and mashed and pateed. And I took my mask off and I was like, it doesn't smell like pate. It doesn't smell like great at all.
You know,
so I had to go back to the store.
Yeah.
I had to go back to the store and buy I don't remember how much it was. I bought $30-something worth of pate, and it was about that big. And I mixed it with this pate.
Oh my God.
And the whole time when these people are getting ready to come, I'm going, you know, the little angel on one side is going, don't serve
Don't
it.
do that.
Don't serve it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And everything in my will was going, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got, you know, kind of flicked her off, you know. And
oh my
so
gosh.
anyway, man, the presentation on it was fabulous. You know, I laid it all out really nice, and I had I had bruschetta, you know, really nice bruschetta that was all, you know, toasted just perfect and cut.
And possum that you just put in a blender.
That's exactly what I did. Yeah, put it on. I put it on possum. Do you have a possum setting on your blender? I do. KitchenAid makes some cool things. Possum blender is one of them. Oh Lord. So anyway, I laid this all out and it was beautiful, and everybody started showing up, and at one point we had a couple that was over that was lived right down the street from us, and one of them was a real big executive with one of the shoe companies.
Okay.
And his wife, and I didn't really like him too much. He was kind of a douchebag, but his wife was a sweetheart, and his wife was a former Miss State. So she was in the Miss America pageant, and you know, she was a couple, 2 or 3 years younger than me or whatever, but you know, she's still great looking, but she was the sweetest person in the world with kind of a wild side. So anyway, everybody starts eating this stuff, and at one point, my girlfriend grabbed a hold of one of the bruschetta like she was going to get some of this crap, and I'm sitting there like, oh God, no, oh God, no, oh God, no. And she ended up just eating the bruschetta and going, "This bruschetta is good." And everybody around her is going, "This stuff is fantastic. I don't know what this. Did you make this?" I said,
Yeah.
"Yeah,
Yeah, I did.
It was kind of a disclaimer time. I kind of went, "No, I bought it."
The carcass.
So if you get sick, I had nothing to do with
it. Is in the yard.
which was by the way, it was in a bag in the back of my truck.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Oh my gosh.
at one point, this guy's wife and her husband, they were eating this stuff up like it was the only meal they were going to get. And at one point, she came over to me and she goes, "I need to talk to you for a second." And I'm thinking, why?
It's a little
And
game.
she goes, "Yeah." She goes, "You're having fun with this." And I said, "You got to promise me something." She goes, "What's that?" She goes, I said, "Do not tell anybody what I did." And she goes, "Is my husband doing it too?" And I go, "Yep." And she goes, "Is anybody going to get sick?" And I go, "I don't know." I don't think so.
It's in the post.
It smelled a little rough.
We'll
so,
see.
Yeah, it smelled a little rough. So I went and changed, added some stuff that wasn't bad. So anyway, I told her what I did.
Oh, you're killing me.
And she goes, "Was that the possum that was laying over in the yard for a couple of days?" And I go, "What?"
No.
She goes, "It was laying in that." She goes, "It was the one over there next, behind the stop sign on whatever road in the." Yeah. She goes, "It's been laying there for a couple of days." And I go, "Oh, fuck."
I can't even imagine this.
So I told her what I actually did. And she goes, "Well, was there maggots or anything?" And I go, "No. It didn't. I mean, it didn't smell right."
I don't think so. I mean,
yeah. And this was spring, fortunately, so it wasn't that hot.
How many bites of it did you have?
She didn't touch it.
Oh,
she didn't touch it. She said she didn't like pate anyway. But she said, and then she really stayed away from it because every time she'd look at me, I got my head down, I'm not even looking at anybody. I'm just going, "Oh my God, oh my God." And she said, and then when your girlfriend grabbed the bruschetta and started going after it, she goes, "I saw you jump." And so I knew something was up. And she goes, "And of all people that would do it, I figured it'd be you. So I might as well ask."
My nose. Hang on.
I said, "You can't tell anybody." She goes, "You can't." I said, "You can't tell anybody." She goes, I'm not telling a soul." She goes, "Did you tell your girlfriend?" And I go, No. I may never do that." Well, guess what? I told her.
Oh.
I told her a couple nights ago.
You did?
It was so many times worse had I done it then instead of now. Because I don't know why she ever looked at me and I don't know why she ever looked at me like I was right in the head, especially. But yeah, she was like, "I just can't believe you did that." And I'm like, "Well, why?" I mean, you got a lot more faith in me than I got, which, and then the questioning ended and it just went straight to, "What is wrong with you?" And I go, "Why does everybody always ask me that?"
Is it them or is it me?
Yeah, I don't understand. Why is that such a famous line towards me all the time? What is wrong with you?
Well, they say if you have 4 friends, one of them's an asshole, and if your 3 friends aren't, then it's you.
That's me. That's me. Yeah, it's usually me. I mean, it's documented. I got problems, man. I got major problems.
These are the stories that are the best. That is so funny.
You know what? And I truly believe that I didn't do anything different than most guys did. There was a few things I took a little farther. But most of these guys take them to the grave. There's no fun if you take them to the grave because you got to share them at some point.
Oh God!
You were my guess.
I
was just a cook.
Funny. Oh. Well, now everybody that comes over to your house is going to sniff everything that you serve.
No, I'll tell you what you do. What I don't eat, don't eat. Just that easy. If I don't eat it, don't eat it.
Well, I don't know what that means. Oh, if they don't eat pate, then don't eat pate.
No, if I don't eat it, if I'm not eating it, don't eat it. Wait until you see what I'm eating, because if I'm not eating something,
Oh, I
something's
see
up.
what you're saying. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Um,
like what is it? Father of the Bride, or what's the name of the movie?
I don't know.
Well, they have this back and forth about which cup has poison in it, and they keep
Yeah.
moving them back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the
Yeah. Well,
guy
you
who
always want to give it.
yeah, the guy who put the poison in the cup, he ends up getting the cup that has poison in it. He
Well, yeah, because
dies.
you always want to give it to yourself. Because if they're suspecting anything, they're going to switch cups. I
Yeah.
mean, come on, that's simple. That's simple.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been doing that for years. I mean,
What are you talking about?
I got
I think
friends. I'm
this
like,
whole thing has
what?
been a mistake.
Yeah, I look at my friends and go, "What? You didn't like what I made? How can you run into the bathroom?"
Oh God, that is so funny. Oh,
I mean, there are some things. There are some things I'd never tell anybody.
and well, nobody got hurt by that, but
As far as I
thank,
know, huh? I never
thank
saw them
God.
again after that. They never came back for dinner, and dinner was
Well,
good. The rest,
uh, our stance is nobody ever got hurt by that. That's what we
exactly. Well,
stand.
you got to stick with that. You got to stick with that too, because if you don't, then people are going to raise questions, and questions just, you know, I find it better to not to tell anybody, because that's when the police show up and they go, "Do you know anything?" They go, "I don't know anything," and they don't know anything. So you can't. I mean, you'll even pass a lie detector test then. So I just don't
Yeah, but
tell them.
you left evidence in the bed of your truck. You should have thrown that
No,
shit
no,
away.
I took it out later. I took it out later.
Oh, okay.
Actually, by the time I took it out, I forgot about it. Oh Lord, it's a good thing I didn't cook it then.
That's insane. Oh,
Yeah,
I can't even
I haven't
fathom.
gotten a lot better. I haven't gotten a lot better. So did you? Okay, so I got to bring this up.
Go ahead.
I don't think I told you this one. So I took a picture.
Uh-huh.
I had a bunch of swelling going on. In fact, I think last interview it was just starting.
Mm-hmm.
And a bunch of swelling going on in my legs and my feet, and stuff like that. And we were trying to figure out what it was. Well, I called my doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my doctor, mind you, is a smoking hot 40-year-old PA who has her own practice, has her own clinic.
Mm-hmm.
So I called her one day and I said, "Man, I'm swelling up, all kinds of stuff." And she should know better than this. She goes, "Well, take a picture of your ankles."
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I took a picture from like right here.
Oh.
Well, yeah, I did a little work before that. So my shorts had shadowing, and you couldn't even hardly see my ankles. So I took this picture from way up here of shadowing and some other things going on before they got to my ankles, and I sent her this picture. And as soon as I hit send, I went, "Oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck." I'm trying to delete it. Well, you can delete them. You can delete a text picture, but you got to get it before the time comes on there, because once the time comes on there, it's already gone. And I thought, yes, I got it.
Uh-huh.
A couple minutes later, and here we go again. A couple minutes later, first words out of her mouth was, "What is wrong with you?" And I go, "What?" I said, "What?" And she goes, "I can't even see your ankles." And I go, "Why?" And she goes, "You got problems." I go, "I tried to stop it." She goes, "Try to stop what? Stop that from happening, or stop from sending the picture?" I go,
All of it.
"Yeah, that." I tried to stop it all, and it just I don't know what's wrong with me. Anyway, so what did I do? I told my girlfriend that too, or my
You're a
ex-girlfriend.
glutton for punishment, is what you are.
Oh my Lord, I'm telling you. Well, I'm trying to do full disclosure, and it's not
Yeah.
working. So I don't recommend
You're
it to
just
anybody.
running in front of buses constantly.
Running in front of buses, I'm actually driving.
Yeah.
It's like I put a brick on the accelerator and jump out in front of it. So what is wrong with me? We haven't come up with it yet. And she's the one
Like
that
I
set me
said,
up
you
with
can't
this
write
PA.
this stuff, huh?
You can't. You cannot. I mean, but you know what? The thing is, I've had so much fun in my life
Yeah,
by
but
doing stupid stuff.
that's fantastic, and that's recent.
Yeah, that was just a few weeks ago. In fact, the picture is famous in the groups I'm in. Only a couple
Uh-huh.
people have seen it,
Uh-huh.
but it's like I've had a lot of people go, "Hey, can I see the picture of your ankles? Sure.
Sure.
A couple times. A lot of times I'm like, ooh,
Yeah.
ooh. But a couple times I was like, yeah, but you can't tell anybody.
And they're like, I promise.
Yeah. Then the next time I see him, I got people around him going, I want to see the picture of your ankles. What, you haven't already? Because apparently she told you about it.
They've got
Show it to you
4
too.
or 5 people standing in the picture.
Yeah, looking at you like,
Yeah, exactly.
those aren't your ankles. Yes,
Yeah.
they are.
Get off my ankles.
Yeah, get away from my ankles.
Yeah.
A couple of them called me for a date. I was like,
Oh, that's funny.
Jesus. I mean, the bottom line is I didn't escort because I'm good looking, Peter. I'm just saying.
Oh.
I mean, have you seen this? I am not a good looking guy. I'm but it was word of mouth. So
Listen, you're beautiful.
Word of mouth goes a long way. Word of mouth goes a long ways, Peter.
You're beautiful, and you're a wonderful guy, and I really enjoy your company. Thank you so much for doing this. And if this is what we're going forward, you nailed it.
I love getting on with you and just talking about stuff. And
yeah,
you know what I think it does.
Mm-hmm.
Not really for me, but I think people see the way I respond and the way I act with everything else that's going on, and it kind of to maybe takes them away from what they might have going on at the time.
Yeah.
In fact, I talked about that with a friend this morning, and she said, I told her, I said, hey, anytime you need to talk, she goes, I'm not going to burden you. I'm like, you're not burdening me. I promise you that if I'm talking to you and trying to help you through your stuff,
Mm-hmm.
it makes me forget about mine.
Yeah.
And
that's a great perspective.
That's the way it's supposed to be. You know, we're not here to damage each other. We're here to help each other out.
I agree.
And it's knocking people down and making fun of them and or whatever it may be. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you're supposed to be a light. You're not supposed to be darkness in somebody's life, especially somebody's life you've never walked a day in their shoes.
Right.
If you walk a day in my shoes, don't talk to me about what you think I should do.
Mm-hmm.
Take care of yourself.
And we just finished each other's sandwiches. we said darkness at the exact same time. You owe me a Coke.
Did you? I didn't even hear it.
Yeah.
And that's what it is, man. It's
true. Yeah.
I wish people would just turn around and say, you know what? Because you never know what kind of a day somebody's having, and you never know what kind of a week somebody's having. I mean, you might say something that is so damaging that they'll never come back from it.
Mm-hmm.
And it happens to me, but it happens to me on a different perspective. I mean, I have people do things that are so profound that I'll never forget them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it can go the other way too. I think you'll say something to somebody that's so damaging that they'll never come back from it. And you won't know. You won't know. It's just, I try to live my life as a blessing anymore. As opposed to being
the older we get, we kind of discern that stuff. That there is weight to what we say and what we've said, and we try to.
We're supposed to be the better.
We try not to do that.
Yeah, and I mean, it happens. It happens, especially if you're vocal like I am and don't have a filter. I mean, every once in a while you say something, you're like, oh man.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really good about going back and saying, hey, that was not how I meant that. I know it came out that way, or whatever it may be. And sometimes you can't. You put a word out there.
Mm-hmm. To apologize is a big deal, because there's a lot of people that don't apologize. And so if you've done something that you know was wrong, just apologize.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't. I was wrong.
Most people don't.
And I'm sorry that it came out the way that it did, and I'm sorry that you took it the way you did, and I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not that hard to do.
Mm-mm.
Actually, it's hard for males to do.
It is.
I mean, it's like, what do they use it like going to rehab. Number one is to Number one is to know that you have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Number two is to recognize the problem. Know you have a problem, recognize the problem, and then try to fix the problem.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's life, man. I think that's
For
life.
sure.
If you got a problem, I mean, the hardest thing to do, by far the hardest thing to do is fix it.
Exactly.
Because if you don't recognize it and don't want to,
if there's anything anybody can take from this, it's apologize.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of people don't know how to say I'm sorry. And I don't know how to say I'm not right. Well, I know how to say I'm not right, but I can't say the other word. I don't know the other word. I think it's French or something. When you say that I'm not right, I'm not right.
Well, I try
you
to
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. And I tried to think about the sentences I'm going to use before I use them. But there are times. I mean, listen, people in relationships and things and all that stuff, and somebody hits your button and you're like whatever. But yeah. I always either take a walk or apologize.
I take a lot of walks. I get my exercise, believe me.
Because you have to. I mean, what are we doing? We're trying to be part of society and relationships and things like that, and so it's very important.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, your relationships with other people that's what make you. That's who you are. I mean, that's what shows if you have heart. That's what shows if you have any sort of direction or anything.
Well, you have to have empathy.
That's life.
Yeah, you have to be empathetic to other people's thoughts.
You do. Not sympathetic. Don't feel sorry for them. Well, some people you do, but you got to have empathy. You got to know. You got to know that if you don't know, you don't know, and so don't bring it up.
Yeah. That, or if you have a question, ask that question, but be empathetic to the answer, because it might not be what you want to hear. But don't.
That's a big one right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's usually when my filter, what little there is, usually disengages.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, "What do you mean? What? How? You're not going to tell me, or whatever."
Yeah.
I try not to do that these days, but every once in a while, it still slips in.
Well, we try not to be judgmental and things like that, but we also expect that to be the case with us.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I don't. There ain't a whole lot you can say that's going to bother me. It really isn't. I mean, well, I don't have a healthy. I don't have a fear of what people say to me at all.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you've seen how I interact with others, and I make sure that even if somebody's getting real jazzy, it doesn't make me jazzy.
Mm-hmm.
I just either decide not to have that conversation anymore, or diffuse.
You don't necessarily have to go with the flow by any means.
Mm-mm. So
too many people do.
A lot do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What makes them sheep? They have to have somebody to follow, and as soon as they find somebody to follow, it's like everybody falls in line. Not me. I'm the other way. I'm marching my own drum, probably because of the voices and music that are in my head. But
I also try to diffuse the situation. There's no reason to have.
I do too.
Mm-hmm.
I do too.
I do the best I can.
Yeah, I do too. Otherwise, it escalates, and I usually get in the middle of it. And when I get in the middle of it, it ain't gonna last long because I don't put up with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but that's all different.
Well, again, if this is what we're going for, we nailed it. It was great talking to you, Steve. I'm going to call you. But thank you so much for coming back on. I really do appreciate it.
Brother Peter, I enjoy it, man. I enjoy it. Anytime you need to fill some air, you call me. And even if it isn't true, we'll make it up. And
well,
it was a pleasure, my friend. It's a pleasure.
Know that I'm going to do
that. Well, I still can.
Clearly.
I can fill up some air.
Thank you so much.
Peter, I appreciate it, brother. I really do. Thank you for giving me a platform to talk about whatever we want to talk about.
Yeah.